Livonia can be a tough place to navigate, especially as a new or returning player, but here I'll teach you how to never get lost again without the need for a map, a compass or a good memory, so you can get started dying in places you at least recognize. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps the channel out, you have no idea. But without further ado, let's get into the video. One more, and that is how you gangbang a zombie. I might be looking for a different expression. Before we get to the good stuff, let's start with the absolute basics. The map itself. You don't need to know or memorize the map, I'll show you how to traverse it without knowing a single town. All you do need to know is you spawn in the north where there's a river that flows from the west to the east and a train track that follows the river on the south side. This river has several towns along it, so if you spawn without seeing one, just follow the river in any direction, but don't swim across it. There are several bridges and Livonia is a much wetter map than Chernarus in terms of rain, so you'll want to stay warm and dry as long as you can. Also note that the river flows towards the east, meaning if it's flowing from right to left, you're on the north side. If it's flowing from left to right, you're on the south side. There are 5 main spawn cities you need to know, and I'll teach you a quick and easy way to remember them all without the need for a map. First, let's talk about what they are, just so you can get a bit of a visual representation. From west to east, or left to right, they are Toppelen, Gliniska, Brenna, Graben, Sitnik. Each one has a clean water pump, a medical facility and a police station, with the exception of Gliniska, who lacks the police station. An easy way to remember their order is to just remember this simple sentence. To get bunker, go south, with each letter corresponding to a different city name. To Toppelen, get Gliniska, bunker, Brenna, go, Graben, south, Sitnik. As long as you remember this, you'll always know how to find the next location. If you get confused between Gliniska and Graben, just remember the longer the name, the longer the word. Get is longer than go, and Gliniska is longer than Graben. Once you know these basic areas, you can pretty much find everywhere else. If you're in Sitnik and somebody says they want to meet in Brenna, you know that you just have to go upriver until you get to Brenna. The train track follows the river on the south side. It runs all the way from Toppelen in the west right to Sitnik in the east, cutting through or next to all of the major cities and several towns. Also along this train track are stations which display the name of each city or town on top of them. But if you're on a road and not on the track, you'll encounter these signs. The white ones mean entering a town and the red line ones mean leaving. I know I said you didn't need a map, and you don't, but if you wanted one, Izurvive, which is linked in the description below, gives you every town and location, and all you have to do is search for the name on the sign to find out exactly where you are to the meter. There are 2 sets of power lines you should be aware of. These small ones here, which usually lead to towns, great if you're lost, and these giant ones here, which span the entire middle of the map from west to east, and will lead you through several small towns, or in the east, they'll lead you to a power station, which you can use to find Sitnik. Of a day, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west with a slight southern curve, meaning when it's at its highest point in the sky, it's usually in the south. So as long as you keep it in front of you during the day when it's high, you'll head south. Of a night, if you look at the stars, you can always find the North Star by using real-life tactics. Look up, search for the Dipper, also known as the Plow, then at the top of its hook, follow the 2 stars across, and the star they almost directly meet is the North Star, which never changes position. As you can see, I've sped this video up by a couple thousand%, and although the entire night sky moves, the hook always points towards the North Star, and the North Star stays exactly where it is. This renders a compass obsolete because you can always find where north is in the night, and south in the day. Now let's go back to the new monarch. To get bunker, go south. I'll quickly show you how you can use this basic knowledge to pretty much find everywhere else. There are several main points of interest players like to visit, so I'll go through a couple now. You don't have to remember these places, but they are fun to visit, and you will find players usually frequenting them because of how fun they are. There are 2 permanent contaminated zones. One is just northwest of Gliniska, so with your knowledge, you know if Gliniska is here, the contaminated zone must be around here, and the other is far south of Brenna in the middle of the map. It's called called Radanon. So just go to Brenner and head south. Just draw a line in your mind and follow it to find the large bunker filled with gear. It's directly south of Toppelin in the southwest, but you will need a key card to enter, which you can find in the previous contaminated zones. Just basically again draw a line downward from Toppelin and you'll find it. To find the prison, walk or look south of Gleninska. It's easy to spot because it's on a giant hill, but be aware, it's crawling with higher level infected. And one of the best cities in the game, named Nadbor, is almost directly south of Gleninska and is directly south of the prison. So again, just find your way to Gleninska and then draw a line in your mind and follow it south. You will almost certainly run into players here, for better or worse, because it's a much traveled southern city. But the absolute most important thing you need to know is how to survive when traveling between these places, and to learn everything you'll need to know about that, click here for a full survival guide, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.